the hills of northern Connecticut, welcome to one of the jewels of short track racing across America, Stafford Motor Speedway, for the CarQuest Fall Finals weekend featuring the late models. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Varsha. Welcome to one of the great short tracks in the country, the half mile known as Stafford Motor Speedway. Over the years, many of the top names in the sport have navigated this tight half mile, and today we're going to see some future stars in action. It's the late models, and we have a great championship battle coming up on this, the final weekend of racing. Let's talk with one of the guys who'll be a principal in that battle. He is Chuck Doherty with a 16-point lead for the track championship. You're starting in mid-pack. Obviously, the question has to be, how are you approaching this race?
Well, it'd be nice to say we're going to approach it like every other, but knowing that we're going to try to do our best to stay out of trouble, first off. We've got a really good car today. It's been fast all weekend, so we're looking forward to a good finish. Winning it, the race itself isn't the #1 priority here, but we feel that the Ocean Spray car is good shape for today.
Well, good luck to you, Chuck. In a moment, we'll meet the man he is racing for that championship. Right now, let's meet the men who will bring you today's race. The host of the Craftsman Truck Series here on ESPN2, Dave Despain, and three-time USAC Open Wheel National Champ, Larry Rice.
Thank you very much, Bob. Fun to be here. Look at the crowd. We're certainly not alone, and we've got a championship battle among the two Chucks. Let's hear from the second half of that battle as we go back to Bob.
Well, guys, the second half of the championship battle here at Stafford is another guy named Chuck. Chuck Zentarski, 16 points down for the title, starting way back in the 25 hole. How are you approaching the race?
I'm going to try to push the cars as much as I can to try to get to the front to win the race. I want to try to win the race. Whatever happens with the championship happens. This is going to be my last race here today, so I want to try to make it good. I'm retiring after this race.
Well, let us be the first to congratulate you, but you do have one piece of business still to accomplish. Go get him. Okay. Back to you guys.
Tough moment in racing, Larry, when you got to hang up that helmet, but you always want to make the last race a good one.
The last one's got to be the best of your career because it's the one you're going to remember the longest, no doubt about that.
Talk a little bit about these cars.
These cars are 108-inch wheelbase race cars. They have to weigh 3,000 pounds with the driver, and they all have to be between the model years of 1975 and 1995. They're cast iron V8 engines, and they all have a 5-inch minimum ground clearance. These cars are pretty fast, and they run a lot out here in the East.
Late models, the meat and potatoes of short track America. They're on the warm-up lap for the fall final at Stafford. We'll be right back.
Boston Market, the place that made hot hand-carved Boston Carver sandwiches famous, proudly announces the new $4 chicken carver combo. A chicken carver, side, and regular soft drink for $4. Hurry in for a chicken carver piled high with real cheese on a bakery roll, plus a freshly prepared individual side and a regular soft drink for just $4. The $4 chicken carver combo, only at Boston Market. Carving out a better sandwich.
Look carefully at these ice cubes. Do you see a subliminal message? Do you see a beautiful naked woman smiling seductively at you? If you do, you probably just need a girlfriend.
Here, over 400,000 aluminum radiators will corrode and fail. But Prestone antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming the Prestone zone of protection against corrosion. It's your car. Protect it in the Prestone zone. And now there's a new Prestone antifreeze with a new low-tox formula for an extra margin of safety around pets and wildlife. New Prestone Low-Tox. It's extra protection in the Prestone zone.
Welcome back to the CarQuest Fall Final, the late model division at Stafford Motor Speedway. Warming up and preparing to go to war here, the battle for the championship. On the line between the two Chucks, Chuck Doherty and Chuck Zentarski. 16 points separate them as you take a look at the starting lineup here for the field. Most of these guys have previous experience in the division and know their way around this racetrack, and that's critical.
It certainly is. A racetrack like this, it's a half mile, it's pretty flat, so you have to have the race car set up very well get through these flat corners. Most of these guys, like you said, have been around here a while, so they can do that. The two guys that are battling for the championship start pretty far back in the field, so it's going to be tough for them.
You saw Dean Casagrande in the rundown there in row 7. Casagrande is a 3-time winner this year. He's won more of the late model features at Stafford than any other driver this year and is currently 3rd in the points, but consistency's been the key. And as we gathered from Doherty's pre-race interview, he's going to try to carry that consistency right through to the championship.
Well, I think consistency is the key to any kind of a championship. You've got to finish up front, but you have to finish the race. And it's very, very important, especially on a racetrack like this, where it is 9-degree banking, fairly flat. It's easy to get a car a little bit loose, get into trouble, and especially with this many cars in the race. Huge field of cars. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a shootout. The pace car working through turns 3 and 4 as the engines are up to temperature. The adrenaline is pumping, and the field is just about set to take the green and kick off the fall final for the late models at famous Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut. Here we go. And Trombley, he kind of bogs down on the outside. Marinelli takes the early lead. Trombley really got people banged up. Oh, we're going to spin. That's going to lead to a spin here for Dale Fifield, and a second car involved. I think that is Cliff Stakey, the defending champion in this race on the very first lap. And as it started, as you said, when Trombley just didn't come up to speed. He did come up to speed. Everybody behind him trying to get gathered up, and the guys farther back in the field are the ones that ended up paying the price. We see Stakey, he's getting out of the car. Obviously, he's got some pretty bad damage. Major change from last year when he won this race. Here's Trombley, and he just didn't go anywhere. Yes, he got rear-ended. Everybody's trying to get around. The guy's way in the back. Ooh, look at this. Fifield comes way across the racetrack, right into Stakey, puts him into the fence very hard. I'm sure he does have some front-end damage because he hit pretty hard. Frustration for Stakey, nowhere to go. Fifield directly behind the outside pole sitter. That was the first contact when he got into the back of him, and that triggered the spin. Yeah, it certainly did. He got into the back of the other car, came right across, right into the side of Stakey, put him into the fence right side first, and really hit the fence pretty hard. The steering has to be messed up in that car as hard as he hit. Well, the leaves are pretty around the racetrack, but the scene on the racetrack not very pretty there on lap number 1. And we'll be going to a restart here as Marinelli, the pole sitter, will take another shot at him. And let's see if Trombley can get that horse to move on the green this time. Here we go. He got a much better start. He got on the throttle. You can see him way back in the corner. He's side by side going into the first corner. He's really pretty happy that that thing happened the way it did, because now that he's got a chance to run second, should have been way back there in about 10th spot where he was earlier. Big move up the inside here. Number 56, David Sweetman on the attack and trying to get to 3rd. And the 85 car is Gary Pelletier, who's got a pretty good record in this division. Yeah, he made a big move going down the back straightaways. We have another yellow flag coming out after only 1 lap. Somebody must have gotten in trouble down there. Oh, we got debris on the racetrack. So they'll take a moment to clean that up. Probably a remnant of the previous incident that was just the first time around. So caution plagued here in the early running of the late model division, and the two Chucks, Doherty and Zentarski, have now had an opportunity yet to get at the serious business of deciding this championship. That's the 51 car, Brian Coet. That's where the bumper came from that we saw lying down there in the turn 3 and 4 area. Let's see, take a look, see if we can see exactly what happened. Got tangled up. Oh, he got sideways. Somebody just went along and ripped the bumper off. As he got sideways, the back end of the other car ripped it off, left it laying out there. He gathered it up and kept going, but they're going to have to get that bumper off the track. No connection with the earlier incident. That was Tom Butler, number 4, who swerved to the outside to miss Coet after the incident that has obviously modified the front end of number 51 a little bit. Yeah, he doesn't want to hit anybody too hard now because that radiator is pretty well exposed up there. Well, beating and banging is certainly part of the tradition when the late models run all across America. Stafford is no exception. We'll be back with a restart after this.
Just what does it take to get in shape and stay that way? If you think you need to go to a gym to lose weight, get in shape, and have a body like this, think again. This is Bowflex, a real workout at home that's so good, we guarantee results in 6 weeks or your money back. Think about it. You could get results like tighter abs, finer lines, a stronger chest, and more defined legs in only 6 weeks. It's not magic, it's Bowflex. All of the most effective exercises plus a great aerobic rowing feature, ready for a quick workout whenever you are. Nothing could be easier. The results you want are only 6 weeks away. Don't think about it anymore. Take action. Call us and ask for a free video and brochure on the machine that works like an entire gym, but fits anywhere in your home.
Here's you. Here are the college football games you want to see that you can't get on TV where you live. Here's what you'd have to do to see them. You'd have to go here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and of course you'd still need tickets. Now here's a much better game plan. ESPN Game Plan. Lots of great college football games you can't normally see. Sent right to you. Call your cable operator or DirecTV to order ESPN Game Plan and see some of these great games in your home this Saturday. See Friday's USA Today for Saturday's Game Plan.
In the middle of the night, many of us search for answers to life's questions. Is there a God? Am I loved? Why was I created? Did the Yankees beat the Twins? ESPN News Network, the 24-hour sports news network from ESPN. Who else?
We're back. We're at Stafford, and we're looking for some green flag racing here after a couple of incidents have marred the fall final with 2 yellow flags thus far. We really haven't had a chance to see who's got what, but boy, the pole sitter Marinelli's looked pretty stout.
He has looked very stout. Now, I want to point out in these restarts, they line up 2 by 2 as they are running. So the guy who's running first is on the inside, the guy running second is on the outside of that front row. So they line up 2 by 2. It's not the lap cars as they do in NASCAR and some other divisions on one side or the other.
So we get ready to put him back under green. Marinelli on the pole is your leader, has led the brief bit of green flag racing that we've seen thus far, and will have the advantage as they come off turn 4 for the restart.
And it looked like Pelletier there trying to get down on the inside. He was looking real strong on the inside, and he gains a spot as that outside spot that Sweetman was in doesn't look to be the best spot, and he's moved back almost to 4th position right now.
Pelletier on the move as they go side by side into turn number 3 for 3rd spot. The guy on the bottom is Herb Bennett Sr. How senior is he? 65 years old. He's the granddaddy of the class here at Stafford.
Yeah, and he was getting that thing a little bit sideways running in there, running pretty good right now. He's hard after this win. You can tell that he's not letting these young guys put anything over on him, as we got a couple of cars banging pretty hard.
That's pretty good contact as they move down the back chute. I believe that was Riolo on the inside who was being pinched off a little bit there. Joe Riolo in a battle back for 7th position.
There's Zantarski in the 8 car. He said he was going to try to move up, try to make some noise, and he is on the move on the outside of the racetrack, and that is usually not the fastest way around, but look at him. He's picked off a couple cars down there in 1 and 2.
And he's cooking, but the difficulty for him is the 16-point gap between he and the leader, Chuck Doherty. Doherty can afford to lay back, play cool in the 3X today, kind of an Earnhardt-looking car, as whoa, smoke ahead. Is Zantarski going to get in trouble? Nope, he was right in front of him, but he's clear of difficulty.
Guys are getting into the corners, getting on the brakes real hard, and that's why the smoke. They're getting a little sideways as they get into the corners. They're a little bit too hot sometimes.
Back up front, this is Marinelli, and he is challenged on the inside as they go to turn 1. A great battle for position as number 85, Gary Pelletier, is there and knocking on the door.
Pelletier is really pushing him hard. And I'm going to tell you what, Marinelli is driving a little bit defensively, trying to keep him back. He's run a little high and a little bit low. But right now, he's been able to hold him off.
Meanwhile, back here in the war zone, the orange car is Dennis Botticello up on the outside. He's got Trombley, Riolo, Greco, Peterson, Doherty, and Janeski all in the middle of this battle. And look at the smoke churn off the tires. Wow.
Man, those guys are going at it back there 6 through 11. They are really banging and beating on each other. You know, these race cars are fast around this. I'm surprised at how really quickly they get through the corners, because the tires on these cars are not as wide as they are on the modifieds and some of the other classes they run here.
You can hear them squeal if you listen closely. The 21 is George Greco, and he's been churning the rubber pretty good there as he tries to hold on to position. Behind him, the 3X is Doherty, and he is the man of the hour. He's the guy who can clinch the championship here today.
He said he was going to be conservative, but he's rubbing fenders pretty hard right there. And here's the other Chuck right behind him, trying to catch up. He knows he's got to beat Doherty, and he's working on it because he started a little farther back.
How are you going to be conservative in the middle of a war zone like this? I mean, you really don't have a lot of choice, do you?
No, you sure don't. George Greco, they're really leaning a little bit on the car of Riolo, and he moved him out, and Riolo lost a few spots right there.
That's Peterson in the 17 who comes up and gives Doherty a little bump every lap or so, just to let him know that he has no particular respect for the championship point leader, and would like it very much if Chuck could get the heck out of the way.
Yeah, he's banged on him 2 or 3 times. Riolo's getting banged on again back there in the back, and he's not giving up easy, though. He's going to make him work to get around him.
Good stuff. This is what brings the fans to the grandstands at the short tracks all across the country. Now we pick up on the progress of Zantarski, who was having a little trouble hearing Bob Barsha in that pre-race interview. I think Chuck's had a little too much exhaust roaring in his ears over the years. He's going to retire after this race and wants to take the championship with him.
Well, he's working very hard at taking that championship with him. Right now, he's got a few spots to gain because Doherty's still a couple of spots in front of him.
That's Palmer, number 16, Bob Palmer from Griswold, Connecticut, in front of the number 8 of Zantarski. Zantarski had a couple of opportunities to kind of slip him the fender and resisted the temptation. Meanwhile, moving up the inside, this is Greco, and he's trying to take a position here.
Boy, he certainly is, and he does move on by. He's doing a nice job. Doherty's going to follow him through. He gets right down to the bottom, going to follow him right on through.
One of the 2 Botticello brothers is stuck on the outside. 28 is Dennis. His brother is Robert. They'll go 3 wide for a moment, but Doherty says, no, I want no part of that, and ducks back to the inside in the 3X.
Well, Doherty's just going to take the easy way around. The easy way around is to follow through the inside. The outside, again, you just have to go farther around. With only a 9-degree bank, it just makes it very, very difficult to hit that car as quick on that outside groove as it is on the bottom.
Doherty seems to favor Greco here, I guess because he's on the bottom. He's been following Greco and hoping that's where the opening would come. Pick up the contest here between the number 65 Marinelli is your leader, but the pressure is clearly from the number 85 Pelletier, who's been the challenger all day.
Yes, and there goes Doherty. He does get back because it looks like they're slowing down.
Yeah, yellow must be out here. Let's see if we can pick up what this is for. It has been a field day thus far for Mike Marinelli. He's been challenged by Pelletier, but thus far, Pelletier has not been able to put the move on and take over the lead, and so we've stayed with that, I guess it's that water that we're...
It's the water. It's been raining here all weekend. Somebody got way low in the front straightaway, splashed water on the racetrack, so they brought out the yellow to try to get out of that.
We'll seize that opportunity to take a quick break and be back with more.
Look, putting is tough. You're either falling short or yelling, "Hit a house!" So, what's the secret? Distance control. There's only one putter designed to help you master distance control. It's a new Alien Touch mallet. Why? This cylinder broadens the sweet spot to the entire face. Off-center hits won't ruin your roll. You'll get superior distance control, touch, and feel. Want the secret to distance control? It's all in a touch. Look, putting is tough. We do this line-up drill back and forth, and we still miss putt after putt. What you need is a putter that locks you on line. What you need is a new Alien Touch mallet. Here's why. These 5 lines link your eyes and the putter to the cup. With the touch, you're locked on target for dead-on accuracy. Want the secret to making more putts? It's all in a touch.
Lower your score with the Alien Touch mallet. Call now for the free video that will show you how.
November 17th, 1968. The Jets are up by 3 over the Raiders. NBC leaves the game to show the movie Heidi at 7. The Raiders score 2 touchdowns. Joe McGinty is not amused.
I just snapped. I couldn't handle not seeing those closing minutes. For the next few months, I became withdrawn. I had blackouts. It was terrible.
We'd never preempt one of our studio shows for a family classic.
It's just morally wrong.
We're back at Stafford where things have shaken down to a 4-lap shootout. The pole sitter Mike Marinelli and the Marinelli's Auto Center Cutlass will be under attack from Gary Pelletier in the Alden Pelletier siding Buick Regal. They're side by side as they come off turn 4 to take the green.
Well, Marinelli's got the best spot, obviously. He's on the inside, so Pelletier's going to have to really try to get a big jump coming off of 4 in order to get by him going into turn 1 and get down on that bottom groove.
Oh, and that's exactly what happened. Marinelli got a terrible restart. Pelletier jumps him.
And he hasn't led a lap up until now. He's got to get back around to the finish line and lead it, but there's 4 to go. So let's see if he can hang on. I'll tell you what, Marinelli's been very, very strong.
Meanwhile, they go 3 wide in that battle we followed throughout the race. Up on the outside, that 21 is Greco, challenged on the bottom by the 28 car of Botticello, and that's been a terrific battle all race. It continues as they go at it for 5th.
They have been battling each other. The 64 car, Bennett, he's the older guy we talked about earlier. He's now in 4th place and running pretty strong, but look at this battle.
And I grossly exaggerated. Herb Bennett is not 65 years old. He's only 64. Greco comes up, gives him the bumper as they count down the last couple of laps here and bends up the tail of Botticello's car.
Botticello hangs on. He gets that little bang. He just keeps hanging on. He hangs the back end out there, though. Good chance to get spun out, but he hung on to it.
5th and 6th. Classic. Uh-oh, we got trouble. A spin for Tom Butler here will bring out the yellow, perhaps. No, they're going to stay under green as the leader, Pelletier, brings them off for the white flag in the air.
Big break for Pelletier as he did not get a yellow there. Bad break for Marinelli as he moves out and loses another spot.
And so we're going to come down to the finish. The other car involved there is Casagrande looking for his 4th win of the year. He's not going to get it. He'll settle for 2nd as Pelletier comes off turn 4. He only led 4 laps all day, the 4 that mattered.
Look at the battle for 3rd. Bennett gets by Marinelli right at the finish line. Marinelli really dropped back. He lost 3 spots there in those last 4 laps.
Yeah, that car just didn't go on the restart and didn't seem to go particularly well after the restart. It never did come up to full speed. So Pelletier pulls out his first ever victory in the fall final for the late models here at Stafford. The window net comes down. He says, let me at those TV cameras. Meanwhile, Doherty and Zantarski ran nose to tail. And that is good news for Doherty because he has won the season championship. Now take a look at your final top 5 and what? No Herb Bennett Sr.? We'll explain why in a moment. Note that the championship contenders, the 2 Chucks, have finished 8th and 9th. Doherty gets the title. Let's go back to the last lap. Herb Bennett Sr.'s wife, Dot, cheering him on as he battles for 3rd. Put it in there. Yeah, he did. He beats Marinelli to the line, and then guess what? A flunk tech. Herb's disqualified. We'll be back in a moment.
Firestone has developed a new tire technology so advanced they use it on Indy cars in the worst possible condition, the rain. And if it can handle 172 miles per hour wet, 55 is a piece of cake. Introducing the Firehawk SC50, made possible by Unity, our ultimate tire technology, and by a tread patterned after our original Firehawk Indy rain tire, the Firehawk SC50, for the rain, for the road.
Having a little trouble packing on pounds or getting noticed? Then drink this. General Nutrition's Pro Performance 2200 Weight Gainer. 2200 pound packing calories a serving. Hey, beef up. Get noticed with GNC's Pro Performance 2200 Weight Gainer. Only at GNC.
There are enough things in your life you have to wait for. Your sports news shouldn't be one of them. ESPN News Network, the 24-hour sports news network from ESPN. Who else?
The O's took 2 from the Tribe at Camden, but the Indians fought back to win Game 3 at home. Now they look to make it 2 in a row. The Orioles-Indians tomorrow at 1. The division series continues on ESPN2.
Over from the big city of Hartford, Connecticut, Gary Pelletier picks up his 2nd victory of this season. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a tough race. The 65 Mike Marinelli, I give him a lot of credit. Raced me clean, raced me hard. We had a little bit extra there for the restarts. I was just holding back, and man, when we had it, we let it go. Off we went.
Well, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So he was keeping a little something in his pocket, Gary Pelletier was. Could have all changed, though, had this late incident turned out a little differently, because I'm not sure if he'd gotten a yellow here, we might not have a potential swap back. Marinelli's car never seemed to come back on form late in the race.
Exactly right. Right here's a big mess up down there as we see the four car of Tom Butler. He got all sideways, and that was fortunate for him, but bad break for Marinelli.
No yellow, and that lets Gary Pelletier go on to victory. Here's your full field rundown. The key, of course, Doherty and Zentarski back there at the tail end of the top 10, battling for the championship points. The disqualified Herb Bennett Sr., credited with 29th position. Doherty wins it by 18 points over Chuck Zentarski and wins the opportunity in victory lane to talk to Bob Varsha about the title.
Well, coming into this race 16 points apart, you knew that the two Chucks had been running nose to tail all year long, and it was no different here in the fall finals. Congratulations to the track champion.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, and we've had a good year, awesome year. You know, today was kind of one of them things where you're walking on eggshells, and, you know, it's like you just try to stay out everybody's way. We had a good car. I mean, it's tempted to just try to drive it to the front, but you don't want to take the chances of getting it turned around. And then, but, you know, then if you lay around too much, they're going to come knock you out of the way, you know. And we come close there. We got caught in a couple bad lanes on restarts, and backed up some, but I'll tell you, the last lap was one doozy, man. I'll tell you, we went into the corner, a whole bunch of cars. I got turning the wheel so hard, I caught my belts in it. I'll tell you, it was something. It's great racing here, and I really had a good time. And I'd like to thank Ocean Spray for coming on board with us this weekend, and CarQuest, and we're going to enjoy this.
Well, Chuck Zentarski is headed for retirement. You're the guy who sent him there. Tell me something about what it means to win the championship.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a lot of years since I won one. I won one in go-karts years ago, and we've been the bridesmaid half a dozen times, second place, you know, and it's to actually get it, knowing how many times we finished second and coming close makes it all that much better. And they take a lot of dedication with the team, a lot of hard work. The car's always it's never had a failure all year. The only time we didn't have a good finish is a week ago, we put it in the fence coming on the last lap. But you know, it means a lot, and it's a lot of hard work on a lot of people's part. You know, I'm just like a quarterback. You know, we're the spokesman, and they give me their best, and I give them their best.
Well, congratulations, Chuck Doherty, 1996 Stafford Motor Speedway late model champ.
All right, congratulations to the champ. A final thought from Larry Rice.
Well, I think it's just amazing how hard these guys ran from the green flag to the checkered flag. Every lap of this race, these guys were flat to the wall.
It was terrific competition. We hope you've enjoyed it. Fall has come to Stafford, and Chuck Doherty is its champion.
All right, thanks, guys. And with that, the CarQuest Fall Finals are now into the history books. We hope you've enjoyed this little touch of New England short track racing at its best. I'm Bob Varsha for Dave Despain and Larry Rice. Thanks for being with us. So long from Stafford Motor Speedway.